There was a fantastic hypothetical that we got asked yesterday on Love the Star. Peyton, I know you were sitting there shirtless, recording with us.
I just mowed.
Lot of nipple out in the recording yesterday.
Really?
Chop. Oh yeah, lot of nipple, lot of weirdly placed nipple. Peyton, I'll be honest, your nipple is further towards your armpit than I think is normal. Yeah, but at least the one that I saw. But so yesterday we recorded a Love the Star, and Peyton, I don't know if you heard it, but when we got asked the question on the hypothetical of which players you'd want to keep, Brian got into it. He was just like, "Whoa, this is difficult. This is really hard." Because there are all these different ways you can look at it. So I wanted us to kick it around here, and also on the fan text, the Frankel and Frankel Injury Attorneys fan text, 877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. RJ Choppy, this came from Matt Holleran.
Sure.
A good listener of ours over at Love the Star, which is now brought to you proudly, just like the Firehouse Tour, by Chill Boys. Chillboys.com, promo code STAR or promo code Cholo. Hypothetically, if you could only keep 2 of these players long term and the other 4 you lose. So the other 4 you're going to lose.
Give me the 4 names.
Which are you picking and why? So here are the duos you get to pick, and you don't get to mix and match them.
Okay.
Dak Prescott and DeMarcus Lawrence. Zach Martin and CeeDee Lamb. Micah Parsons and Deron Bland. Now, before you give me your answer, here's why I think it's a fascinating question. First one, the Prescott-Lawrence combo. Prescott, to me, obviously, that's the quarterback, important position. Lawrence, being on the defensive side, it's the only one of the combos that gives you somebody on offense and defense that you get to keep that's a good player. The other combos are 2 offensive players, 2 defensive players. Zach Martin and CeeDee Lamb. Zach Martin's obviously getting near the end of his career, but CeeDee Lamb is probably the one of the 3 that you have the fewest questions about. Would you agree?
Yeah,
in terms of that's the guy that is really the most stable. Question. And then the other one you have of Parsons and Bland, those are the 2. It's a combo of 2 young players, 2 really good all-pro level players, but also you start saying, yeah, but I've already invested in Diggs, so if I have to say goodbye to 4 other players, do I want to pick the combo that has a corner in it if I've already paid Diggs? Would I rather have a quarterback and a defensive end or an offensive lineman and a receiver? So out of these combos, which are you picking, Chop, and why?
Okay, this is interesting.
I ultimately went with, I leaned Parsons and Bland because to me it's the best collection of youth and talent.
So I get to keep just one of these pairs.
You get one of the pairs. You have to say goodbye to the other 4 players.
I'll keep Dak and Tank.
Dak and Tank. Even though knowing Tank is probably near the end of his career, and Dak you have questions about. Do you have the most questions of those 3 young players? Lamb, Prescott, Parsons. Do you have the most questions about Dak?
Well, I mean, he's 8. What is he, 5th year, 6th year? No, he's 9 years in, man. I don't have questions about his talent. I know he's a really, really good quarterback.
I just almost slipped up and said the F word just you saying that. 9 years. Can you believe it's been almost a decade that he was drafted here?
I don't have questions about his ability. I don't have questions about whether he can lead the team. My question is have we reached the point where you have to just start over because there's a ceiling?
The ceiling is the roof.
Now they have won 12 games in a year for 3 straight years. To me, that's good enough. This was 1997. Not with the Cowboys, just in general. Dak Prescott is the quarterback for the next X amount of years, and there's no questions about it. It's a different era that we're in now. I would take that because he's the quarterback, and he would amount to more wins. CeeDee Lamb with no quarterback is a useless weapon. He's Justin Jefferson. What is Justin Jefferson right now?
I mean, Justin Jefferson's still pretty good.
He's still pretty good, but his numbers are going to be what?
Yeah, I mean, with J.J. McCarthy, Sean would tell you nothing.
Right. Now, look what he was last year when Kirk got hurt. He was okay. So he's putting up gaudy numbers because it was the only one that anyone was throwing to. Nick Mullins would only throw to Justin Jefferson. And that was just a safety net. That's not sustainable. And then do I really want a corner who has many interceptions for touchdowns as Deron Bland gave you last year? How many touchdowns did he give up? Or big plays did he give up?
Yeah, I mean, is he the stickiest corner in football? No. But I mean, he's a good cover guy.
He's a good cover guy.
Who's still growing. Who's still growing into becoming that's the thing is that you're still talking about upside. And there's a lot of upside there. Now, Brian made it interesting where he said, all right, let's remove the veterans from the equation. He said, what if I tell you the combo is Prescott Bland or Lamb Parsons?
Lamb Parsons. Yeah, okay. Then I'd be like, all right, I could rebuild through those two. Lamb Parsons.
I think I would go Lamb Parsons because at first he said, what if it's Prescott Lamb and Parsons Bland? I was like, well, no question. I'm taking Prescott and Lamb.
Sure.
That one is a slam dunk to
absolutely.
me.
But
especially because I've already got Diggs paid and handled it. I've got a corner, and I've got Kalen Carson, the young corner, coming up. But it's a very interesting hypothetical because I think there are arguments you can make for any of those combos, which these are the kind of fun little offseason things we get into. Okay, let's go over to what Aaron Schatz had written about the Football Outsiders Godfather. He wrote about the biggest holes remaining for all 32 teams. And we're going to do this.
What website is this for?
This is for ESPN. Don't look, no cheating. I want you to guess what he says is the biggest roster hole remaining for your Dallas Cowboys. We're just going to have the buzzer ready, Peyton, because it's going to be buzzed a lot. What is the biggest hole remaining on the Dallas Cowboys roster, Chop?
I would guess it's running back.
No.
Linebacker.
Nope.
Okay. Safety.
More specific.
More specific than safety?
More specific.
Free safety.
Nope.
Strong safety.
Nope.
Box safety.
Nope.
Safety.
Third safety.
Third safety?
The biggest hole on the Dallas Cowboys roster is the third safety of the roster. Here's the write-up that we got. Look, we could put running back here, and you would all agree, but I think the Cowboys' lack of a back is an overstated issue. I actually agree, especially if you have fixed the offensive line, no matter how arrogant that sounds. This will be an interesting test of the analytical precept that running back is a mostly fungible position. I will say that I am excited about potentially, and you should be excited for that. This would be a nice test of being able to tell how important is the position.
Well, assuming the offensive line's good.
The PA would be sweating this one big time if the Cowboys had success at running back doing it this way.
Yeah, I mean, again, what's the offensive line? If the offensive line's trash, then it's going to be.
But if the offensive line is blocking it up and they're having success with it, that would.
What do fungible mean, by the way?
What do fungible mean? Let's look.
When these people write these articles, they put these words in that I've got to look up.
I mean, he's an analytics guy.
I know.
It says replaceable by another identical item. Just say replaceable. It's mostly a replaceable position. And Ezekiel Elliott was fine with the Patriots last season. A bigger issue for the Cowboys might be safety because this defense used 3 so often in 2023. The Cowboys used at least 6 defensive backs roughly 73% of the time last season, more than twice as often as any other defense. With Jaron Kearse still unsigned, there's no clear third safety for the Cowboys to use in the dime package. Wanye Thomas, a 2022 undrafted free agent, is primarily a special teams player, although he did have 6 games with double-digit defensive snaps last year. Fourth-year veteran Israel Mukuamu is the other possibility to play this role. He's similar to Thomas, but had just 3 games with double-digit defensive snaps. Sheldrick Redwine, who started 8 games for the Browns a few years ago, played just 1 game for the Cowboys in 2023. Kearse is still out there if the Cowboys want to bring him back. By the way, I can tell you with certainty the Dallas Cowboys do not want Jaron Kearse back.
They played dime 73% of the time.
So here's the thing. They played with 3 safeties. That's why I think that this is where analytics can sometimes get you in trouble if you don't actually know the specifics or the nuance, and you're just kind of looking at it from a general read. You got to remember how often they play guys as linebackers, basically. They were running safeties as linebackers, but they were called safeties, and they would play them up closer to the line of scrimmage. It was more playing 5 defensive backs with this hybrid player who was playing kind of a pseudo linebacker role. But the other thing is, that was Dan Quinn's system. Dan Quinn played heavy 3 safeties, like would rotate in 3 safeties and do things like that. You're going to see from Zimmer a lot of dime packages, but he will play more often 4 corners than 3 safeties. And so if you're looking for a corner safety hybrid, Wanye Thomas is actually the one who says, like, well, he's primarily a special teams player. No, Wanye Thomas could get a lot of defensive snaps here. That could absolutely happen. Also, if Kalen Carson is the type of corner you think he is, if you graded him in the 3rd round and you picked him in the 5th, then you've got 4 corners. You've got Trayvon Diggs, Kalen Carson, Deron Bland, and then you've got Jordan Lewis with the 2 safeties, Wilson and Hooker. Now, I think they could get better at safety. Absolutely. I would have been fine if they would have drafted a safety at some point.
Did any safety come remotely close to falling to them that they liked?
Yes. Jaden Hicks is a guy I think they liked, the safety out of Washington State. I think they felt there was better value at different points, and ultimately they didn't take him. But Hicks, Kalen Bullock, Javon Bullard, from Georgia, these were all guys that could have been in play for him. I just think that they felt like they had other priorities in place, but I absolutely would be in favor of upgrading the safety position. But still, I would I would not argue that third safety is the biggest hole that the
Biggest
Dallas
one.
Cowboys
Yeah.
have to fill.